Robert Kennedy took over, in effect, the operative direction of the CIA.
I was an active duty Army officer, a regular Army captain in 1963, with a specialty in covert and paramilitary intelligence operations. Suddenly was beckoned to Washington, D.C. and offered an opportunity to serve with the CIA in its secret war against Cuba. I transferred to South Florida to JM Wave, which is the only CIA station that was ever established on U.S. soil. I met the assistant chief of station, a fellow by the name of Gordon Campbell, who later became my case officer on a particular mission shortly before the Kennedy assassination. I also worked with a fellow by the name of David Morales, who was the chief of operations. The concept was to conduct covert paramilitary operations involving infiltration and commando raids in an effort to destabilize Cuba. We also embarked on efforts to assassinate Fidel Castro. Bobby Kennedy, chairing the special group, had to pass on each and every mission. It created a huge amount of resentment on the part of the operational people at JM Wave. Particularly, I know for a fact, Morales, because I had sat in on briefings or heard him go into a rage in his office where he would throw chairs and go absolutely berserk when the word came down that that operation had to be changed or possibly even canceled because the risk of attribution and unintended consequences was too great.
Being on the steps of the cathedral after the assassination and seeing Bob Kennedy come down the steps, I never have seen a more ravaged man in my life. He didn't know who was responsible for the murder of his brother. Was it CIA? Was it Cuban nationals? Was it part of the Cuban brigade? There was such guilt about the role that he played, and did I inadvertently set in motion the forces that led to my brother's death?
The word around the station was that Castro had killed Kennedy, and that Oswald was an operative, a Castro operative. Deep in my guts, I had some feeling that what we had been doing down there was in some way connected. But there was also a kind of gnawing suspicion about some of the things I had heard at the station, the anti-Kennedy comments, the sentiments that were expressed about the Bay of Pigs, just discussed with the Kennedy administration. From that point forward, I had growing suspicions about the agency's role in John Kennedy's assassination.
They called him a man of 1,000 faces. That's what he was called. He hated all communists, you know. He what you call 100% American all the way through. You don't mess with him and he'll blow your ass apart.
Morales was a legendary backstreet operator for the CIA. If you saw him on the streets of a South American capital, you knew a coup was about to happen.
RFK! 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 RFK!
Yeah, that's the figure that I had previously identified as Morales. His nose was a little more flattened, but the stance, the shoulders, the face, the tie askew, the general facial impression is an individual that I would identify as Morales to a practically 100% degree. Very, very much characteristic of Morales. See how he moves back and forth very casually, does not attract attention to himself. That is no question.
I also showed these clips to Wayne Smith, who worked with Morales at the US Embassy in Havana in 1959.
Monitors the ballroom moments before
That's him.
shooting.
That's Dave Morales.
Really?
Yeah, I'm virtually certain. Is there anything?
No, we see him again. We see him
go
again.
ahead.
Yeah,
Let's do
and
it.
you'll see him
Yeah.
repeated.
Yeah,
Body
that's,
language is very, very much characteristic.
yeah. I mean, he turns that way. That's Morales. That's Morales.
Back and forth
Yeah, I knew Morales quite well. He worked in the CIA station in Havana when I was third secretary of the political section. 59 until we broke relations in 61. And saw him again a number of times. When I saw him in Argentina, we got into an argument about Kennedy, Bay of Pigs, and all that. And what he said was that Kennedy got what was coming to him.
And did he give any indication that he might have been involved in some way?
He didn't. He said Kennedy got what was coming to him. He said it in a very determined way, so he took great satisfaction in it, but no, he didn't.
Is there a benign explanation for why he would be there?
Well, I don't see any. I mean, if the CIA or the security division of the Department of State ordered him to be there to protect Bobby Kennedy, that'd be one thing, but I don't think that's the case. And if they didn't, then there is no benign explanation that I can think of.
And is David Morales a suitable figure to protect Bobby Kennedy?
No. No, I mean, in my wildest imagination, I couldn't imagine assigning David Morales to protect any of the Kennedys. Bobby Kennedy is assassinated. David Morales is there. Well, the two things have to be related.
In the shooting.
Minutes later, he's seen lurking in shadow outside the pantry doorway. And popping his head around the doorway 2 minutes later to listen to Valerie Schulte, the official girl in the polka dot dress. Again, Ayers and Smith identified this man as David Morales. The LAPD showed a 20-minute film of the shooting to witnesses and investigators. It included the following clip of two men walking through the ballroom from the direction of the pantry as panic spreads that Kennedy has been shot. There is no mention of them in the police investigation files.
Yeah, that's excellent. I could certainly verify 90% ID of Gordon Campbell. Less a little hair, as I remembered him. The facial features are certainly his, absolutely. And I'm looking beyond the face. I'm looking at the body, the carriage. Take a look at that again. Obviously, the two of them are together. They're looking for a way out because this fellow is guiding him, showing him an exit.
Campbell also appears in a photograph taken in the ballroom a couple of hours before the shooting.
Can you identify the man with him?
No, I told you that face is familiar, but I've looked at that photograph. I can't. It does not surprise me at all that these folks would be so audacious as to believe that they could pull this off. In fact, they did.
It was out of control, and I don't ever recall seeing him lose it like that before.
And what was his actual comment then that finished that?
It was something like, I was in Dallas when we got that motherfucker. I was in Los Angeles when we got the little bastard. What it said to me was that he was in some way implicated with the death of John Kennedy. And let's go one step further, and also Bobby.
They were sort of getting it. I wanted some information about what happened down there, at Dallas. And as we were drinking, and then finally did he something. Well, he let him know in a roundabout way, well, we got the son of a bitch. That's what he said.
And so in the same conversation, Robert said that Diddy said, I was in Los Angeles too when we got the little bastard, meaning Bobby.
No, he was in Los Angeles, but he didn't say that we got him, that they got him. There's just a difference, the wording, Say, what's the matter with you, Diddy? He said, I don't feel too good. I said, why not? He said, I had a few drinks with my cronies up there before I left West D.C. He said, really? He said, on the plane, I ain't been feeling good down but now. I said, I was just waiting for you because I'm going to take off, go to Wilcox. He used to leave his truck right then and drive over there. Okay, well then, let me know as soon as you get there, let me know how you feel, and you got me worried you don't you don't look the same no more, you know. I mean, he's always happy-go-lucky.
That night, Morales had a massive heart attack. The ambulance took hours to arrive and didn't bring any oxygen. Within a week, he was dead.
They wasted 5 hours to get him to the hospital, to make damn sure that he didn't, I guess he wanted him dead, I guess, real good, by orders, I don't know.
And when you say they, so who killed David?
They'll have to draw you a picture, the same people he worked for.
The CIA?
Yeah, because he was going to go before the Senate, you know, they summoned him, you know, to go before the Senate. But before he could get there, they knocked him off, man, you know, because he knew too much. Yeah, he was the #1 man in the CIA. You only had 2 bosses, the president and the head of the CIA.